Yeah. So welcome everyone. It's the last week, and if you can put your videos on, that's also okay. So if you feel like doing that, uh, because I don't think I'll be taking up the readings today. I'll be more focusing on questions and any reflections from the course, anything that you want to share. So first thing that I wanted to maybe ask all of you, where are you placed as per your assignments? Jasmine is asking, are we recording this? Yes, Jasmine, we are. Yes, we are recording this. But you can spill the dirt also. It's okay. It's a part of the game. Yeah. So anything that you would like to share before I begin what I have to share today? Yasho, Preeti, Rinku, Jasmine, where are you placed uh, with reference to the assignments and all? Is there any issue? Yeah.
So I am way behind in submitting my assignments, and I was wondering if you would give me a little bit time.
Yes, yes.
I mean, so I would want to, if that is okay with you, submit them um, as and when possible. Yeah,
Perfectly fine. Yeah.
because not being able to. It's not that I don't have time, but again, as I shared last week, that I'm not in a very comfortable headspace right now.
Mm.
So, and it's taking getting to the assignments, completing them. No, it's like I don't want to do them half-heartedly.
I can completely understand it, Yashu.
Hmm.
And first of all, I'll be giving you an extension. All of you, I think we are all lagging behind. So I'll be giving you an extension, maybe a week or so. And
Okay.
secondly, these assignments uh, are to be done only when you are going through this difficult period. Because if you are actually in a very peaceful and nice state, you will not be feeling like doing these assignments at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so use that pain, use that intensity that you have right now, the difficulty, to do the assignment.
Monica,
Otherwise, yeah, yeah.
of late, what has happened is an absolute disconnect.
Hmm.
So वो था ना that um, there was a link which was almost like something positive coming my way. वो ऐसे लगता है जैसे I've snapped it, I've cut it off,
Yeah.
and I've not been able to reconnect.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm with you totally. And this has happened with many of us. I've been in touch with many of us on the group, and this has been happening. And it is especially during these times when we need to push ourselves to the right zone. No, otherwise, when we are in a happy, pleasurable zone, we don't need to push ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it is especially in these zones where we feel that, yes, I feel really totally disconnected. And that's why I had shared that doha on man, and also in meeting Kabir I had shared that जब मन नहीं कर रहा है और तुम्हें पता है वो तुम्हारे लिए सही है, you have to actually push yourself in that right direction.
Yeah.
Right. क्योंकि मन तो नहीं करेगा, मन नहीं करेगा. और तभी हमको यूजुअली दुख दर्द हमें स्पिरिचुअलिटी की तरफ लेके आता है, मन थोड़ी ना करता है. Right, later on when the mind gets adapted to such kind of thoughts, wisdom and clarity, there is
Awful.
okay, it was from Jasmine. Okay, so yes, तो मन नहीं करेगा और मन के मते हमको चलना भी नहीं है. मन के मते ना चालिए, मन के मते अनेक, जो मन पर असवार है वो साधु कोई एक. It's a hard path, especially when you are changing the boats almost. Right, so we are all in a domain where we are almost changing the boats in the middle of the sea. So the one boat that we were riding on was the boat that people, external situations, external things are going to make me happy, right? but that promise has never been fulfilled, and that will never be fulfilled. So it's a change of boat for me. I have to completely leave as if that belief that people or situations are going to give me happiness, or can, if situations change, I will be happier, right? That is never ever going to happen. The attitude has to change from within. So this is the change of boat, and in the beginning it's very very hard. It's not for the faint hearted, and that is why
Not at all.
we right, so that is why we experience these resistances in between, 10 steps ahead and then 5 steps back and then again 5 steps further behind. But it doesn't matter, just don't stop, push
Monica,
yourself. Yeah.
that has been my issue too, and I'm actually, I thought it was only me, but that has been my issue too. Like, I find this block. I literally sat with papers in my hand, looking at, I printed the assignment and I said, okay, let me sit with it. Even the very first one I submitted, it's like I hit a wall.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I am.
Perfectly fine, it's part of the game.
But I haven't been able to. I literally sat with it so many times, at least 10 times, and I couldn't get past it.
Doesn't
And
matter.
yes, I was thinking of booking a session, but I don't know how to move past it.
Yes,
I think that's why I probably didn't book the session, because it's almost like something, it's very strong. And that's what I realized, because I've been trying it's been 8 weeks. For at least 4 weeks, I've been consciously trying to sit with it and to even move forward. Should I book a session like one-on-one with you? But I hit a wall, and that's why I probably didn't book a session, thinking I have nothing and nothing comes to me. I
perfectly.
mean, these sessions have helped me a lot, like in so many ways. And even being aware of this thing, I realize I actually block off and I kind of hold back the, I know it's something I will hit, I need to hit, but no, it's not just in this session. Now it's coming up in like daily life too. I'm realizing I don't share my sort of core, what real
Mm,
me is. So in hiding it, in a way, maybe I'm hiding it from I don't even know myself. I'm kind of holding myself from experiencing that, but I
yeah,
feel the blow. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Perfectly fine, Jasmine. I'm with you. And there is nothing that is happening that should not have happened. Be
Mm,
sure. Be sure that anything that is happening with you throughout this course, or right now the block that you are experiencing, it is bound to happen.
mm. The only thing I think one thing that really stuck with me was that example you gave of mother about the egg.
Mm,
I know it feels like nothing is happening, but
yeah,
I know a lot is happening, and I see that change, and it's beautifully come up in small transaction, daily transaction. Because when you actually observe how much I have changed,
yeah.
yeah, but I think then I also like I don't know if I should rush to it. I sit with it, or is something else I need to do.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
mm,
I'll address that. Yeah. So I think that is very important. Shortly touching upon that. So Jasmine asked whether I need to do anything when we are experiencing these blocks or challenges, or wall-like phenomenon in our sadhana, or whatever you can call it. You would see that we actually don't need to do anything. We would need to see what all we are doing that is creating more and more resistance to the isness of life. The cup broke. The cup broke. That happened, right? That is the reality. Where does suffering begin? Who broke the cup? It should not have been broken. Whatever, the whole agenda, the whole story associated with it. So usually what we do is we resist whatever is happening. It may be a very sad thing that may be happening, right? It may be a separation. It may be, maybe we are going through loss. What brings us suffering is not actually the loss. We can all go through losses. What brings us suffering is the resistance. Why on earth did this happen to me? Relate it with your current situation. Now, even when we are looking at this block, that you're saying, right? Why did the block happen to me? Why on earth is the block happening to me? So you don't need to provide any resistance. So we don't need to do anything. We have to see what we are doing. We are actually creating a resistance. When I see the block, when I see the wall, that I, bang my head on this wall and I don't know what is there beyond the wall, I feel stuck. Be stuck. Now don't begin to have another layer of resistance. This is our doing. You are asking what to do. We actually have to see what we are doing and stop doing that which is creating resistance. Huh? You go to maybe meet a friend and the friend doesn't turn up. Now that is a happening. That happened. Now it is up to me how I take the situation. The friend did not turn up. Done. Now what creates my misery and my suffering is, why on earth did this happen to me? So whatever is happening in the existence, I am actually becoming a stumbling block. This is my doing. And this has to be seen and then stopped. That this is what I am doing, which is creating more and more resistance, right? And it is perfectly fine to go through stumbling blocks. Now, I don't have to become another stumbling block because of the stumbling block, right? So I don't have to create another wall of resistance. I can just let the stumbling block be, and I must do what needs to be done. Yes, Yasho, you want to share?
Yeah, so the cup breaking. But if it happens, it becomes a pattern. Yeah, it
Sorry,
happens
say it again.
all the time. If it becomes a pattern, the cup breaking, it says something about yourself. If one holds oneself responsible for the breaking of the cup, and of course, one understands that there must be some. If it is happening again and again, there must be a purpose to it. It can't be. The purpose may be that I need to learn something out of it. But if the learning, I can't wrap my mind around the learning, or I'm not learning the lesson. So that again, the lack, the
Okay,
feeling
Yasho.
of lack.
The biggest lesson that we all have to learn, which actually takes a lot of time, is just to be in the isness of life. That things are like that. The cup breaks. There has to be absolute fluidity with the whole happenings in the existence. Absolute fluidity. No resistance whatsoever. This is the biggest lesson. When you said, maybe I'm not learning the lesson, this is the biggest and highest lesson, that we have almost to shed layers and layers of ignorance of what I think myself to be, and become only one with the whole existence. So then where would be the fact of the cup and me as a separate entity and learning the lessons? The biggest lesson that I have to learn is that maybe there is no cup. Because as long as I am in the domain of cup breaking, I'm still in the world of form. Are we just forms? And we need to regularly touch the space of formlessness with, if I can say within, it's not within, but yes, regularly make it a, almost, if I can say, make it a practice. It's not a practice, but to say it, yes, make it a practice to touch the formless space within each one of us. Else it is not, it is just going to be suffering. Yes, you can be really sure about it, because the existence is not going to stop until it tells you and places you in the right place, that you are not what you think yourself to be. It is hell bent. The love is too great for each one of us. What if the biggest lesson that we need to learn is that I don't even mind the cup breaking because I have so many good things to attend to. I have so much on my plate that it doesn't matter. Why on earth is that cup so important for me? Why on earth is not this formlessness, so important for me? Why on earth this is not my priority? This formless space within me is not my priority. Why? तो अभी भी मामला वही चल रहा है that कुछ चेंज हो जाए कि बाहर का सिचुएशन ठीक हो जाए. Now this manipulation is not going to work for us. We have to fall in love with our formlessness. It has to be a love story, otherwise it will not work. Manipulation of the ego that कुछ अंदर चेंज हो जाए so that बाहर का वातावरण कुछ मेरे हिसाब से ठीक हो जाए. That is not going to work.
That's true. हमारी conditioning ऐसी है, we still tend to gauge our inner like sort of journey, or sort of it's like whether we're doing well or not by how it's transforming in the outer world. It's almost like we bring in under and I have caught myself doing that so much this week. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on outside, actually inside I feel very good. Like, it's a certain stability that's come up. But it's just like I kind of, I think I'm more aware of that what I'm trying to do. Time and time again, like during the day, I get caught up in the outside. I just say that's going to gauge what my inner spiritual, like how much progress I've made. But it comes in very, subtle ways. You don't even realize. Yeah.
We almost have to, the journey, this journey that we are on, it has the capacity and the power to make us almost, if I can use the word, it would not be an exaggeration, invincible. Invincible. That no matter what happens in the external situation, the attitude that I have now will turn every situation around. Nothing on this earth has power that it can take away my peace and happiness. It's my authority, it's my domain. That is why we say when we are on this path, it almost links us to divine strength. This is the divine strength. That once I have this right attitude about life, that everything that happens in external situation, no matter how ugly it is, I'm going to turn it around and it would not matter to me. No matter if I break in the process. But peace and happiness is my domain. No, nothing, no other thing or person or relationship or situation has the power to take away my peace and happiness. That is what the path has the capacity to give us. We suffer only because we give the responsibility of peace and happiness to other situations, people, and happenings. This is the sole cause of our suffering. Why is that not happening? And that is the reason I am suffering, right? But then we also have to pay the price. We cannot have our hands full कि जो पुराने जमाने का था, जो चले आ रहा था 10 साल से, वो तो भरा रहे हाथों में, लेकिन साथ में इनविंसिबिलिटी भी मिल जाए. वो होने नहीं वाला. वो नहीं होगा. We will have to pay the price. And the price is very, very, very cheap. Very cheap. The price is me and my stories. It's nothing. But we feel it's something only because we have not yet touched that power that I'm talking of. The moment you touch that power, you feel that freedom. Wow, no one else on earth is responsible to make me suffer. I suffer, and now I let go of it, and now nothing can touch me. I can go through all the sadness and sorrow and loss and grief and pain, and I'll go it in contentment. This is why Mother says that it can be an adventure. All souls plunged into the adventure. This is the adventure. For us, it is not an adventure. For us, it is suffering. You know? So after the suffering ends, the real adventure, till suffering also, it's preparations happening. But once you see that I was suffering because I was keeping my happiness and peace dependent on people and situations, it's almost like putting your anchors of the tent in a very muddy, murky water. It will be hit by tsunami one day or the other. Put the anchor inside. Nothing can touch you. And that's why it has to be our felt experience. Because जब तक आपको वो taste नहीं होगा उस power का, when you have the power that you feel when you do not place your peace and happiness on external situations, the power that you feel, once you have a taste of it, you will not be able to put it back again on other people and situation. It is an impossibility.
Monica, I have felt that. I mean, I don't know what if you're talking about something different, but yes, I have felt that this is just a story. I'm just cooking up a story, and it need not be given importance. So what if the situation is this? And I felt calm, and I felt at peace, and I felt powerful. But then again, so
Yes.
This is habit. This
Bilkul.
is
Bilkul.
this is habit.
This is habit. This is habit. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It takes time to die it away. And it's not, Yasho, it's not even a lifetime of a habit. It's lifetimes of habit. It's not for the faint-hearted. That is why Kabir says, Surma chahiye, Surma. Lifetimes of habit. कुछ को हम टच कर सकते हैं. Maybe we do a past life regression. Maybe I touch a particular habit or pattern. सारों को नहीं. You cannot even go there. You can just remain focused. That's, yes, whatever happens, I'm going to take in this spirit, in this spirit, in this spirit. And then all the older patterns slowly lose grip over us. They lose grip. They have no other way. उनकी दाल नहीं गल रही यहाँ पे. वो आते बार बार इसलिए क्योंकि हम दाल गलाते हैं. We give them fuel. Once your focus is set that yes, for sure, मैं ये 2000% गारंटी दे सकती हूं कि मेरी पीस और हैप्पीनेस किसी चीज पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं है, तब धीरे धीरे इन जो पैटर्न्स, ओल्डर पैटर्न्स की जो टेंडेंसी है, वो धीरे धीरे इट लूजन्स ग्रिप ओवर अस. एंड इट टेक्स टाइम. इट इज अ टाइम टेकिंग प्रोसेस. And it's okay to go in the plunges of darkness also. I'm not saying that that would not happen. That can happen anytime to each one of us. We can never be sure that there would be a never, now I will never fall into this story again. It can happen to each one of us because we don't even know कौन सी पुराने जमाने की वृत्ति आके फिर से चढ़ के बैठ जाए, right? But once the attitude is set, once you have tasted this more and more and more and more in life, it will be easier then to turn back. And there is no place that we were going to reach through this course. There is no other place. ऐसा कुछ नहीं हम करने जा रहे थे कि हम कुछ ऐसा खजाना मिलने वाला था हमको. We are our खजाना, अपने आप को ही मिलना था. And that is a continuous process. And that has started. I think that is enough. एट वीक्स में हम जन्मांतर की मैल तो नहीं हटा पाएंगे. It will be too much of a expectation from an 8-week course, but we just try to explore it a bit, right? Investigate it maybe in a different way, give more time to it, है ना? जो हम 0 टाइम देते हैं उसकी जगह में भी 2 घंटे 3 घंटे या थोड़ा और कम, whatever. It's almost a process of falling in love with yourself, huh? meeting more and more of yourself and getting to know, and almost falling just madly in love with your own movements. Taking only then life can become an exploration, when I am ready to look at myself, no matter how ugly or difficult the situation is. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to turn my back on myself. It's almost feels like it's like a wedding bow, I'm taking with myself, that yes, I'm not going to turn my back to myself. Usually we have been trying to get married to people, situations, कुछ हो जाए जो ऐसा पक्का, बिल्कुल सीमेंट का पक्का जोड़ बन जाए, बाहर की सिचुएशन से, और वो कितनी तकलीफ देता है वो हमें पता है ना. That is the reason of suffering. Now, it does not mean that we will not have bonds or relationships in life, but we will not be placing the burden of my peace and happiness on those situations. It will be in all lightness and enthusiasm and spirit, right? It will be for fun. It will be for sharing myself in the world that I do that. Not that that thing can give me happiness or peace or contentment, anything, name it. This has to be actually ingrained in us. This has to be just, it has to be cemented in us, that nothing on earth can bring me peace and happiness, because peace and happiness is who I am. When I'm not seeking, I have experiences of peace and happiness. When seeking is absent, there is contentment, there is fulfillment in the being. So ये जो course था, ये it was just a touching, almost brushing through that yes, this is a possibility. We need not suffer all our life. We can use suffering as a signal, and bye bye. It is not possible that if I have read the signal and really implemented, if I can use the word implement, uh, the signal has been decoded. It is not a possibility that the suffering will stay. If the suffering is still there, we can be sure that I'm still identifying myself as something who I'm not. Maybe as a person, I'm as a story, as my past, as my future, as a mother, as a कुछ ना कुछ कहीं चिपक गई होंगी फिर जाके. और वो चिपकना कभी भी हो सकता है, किसी भी पल में हो सकता है. And that is why this is a lifelong of a process, because we can always turn around. Stories can always come back. But it's very important for each one of us, if we are ready, if we are willing to fall in love with ourselves, that to soak ourselves in each and every life experience very badly. It's like intensely. Don't let any movement go past just like that. कि हो गया, पूरा दिन निकल गया, पता ही नहीं लगा कहाँ चला गया. No. Be very intimate with each and every movement of your being. This is the taste that we wanted to have through this course. Be very intimate with each and every life movement. Don't be in a rush. Otherwise, life कितनी 80 साल की हो जाती, पता ही नहीं लगता कहाँ निकल गया 80 साल, right? So we want to live life fully each moment. And what do you mean by fully? Even when say sadness or pain, anything is there, I am going to live through it. I'm going to really go deeper into it. Those of us who have this experience of diving, maybe even in the swimming pool, going deeper. It's an experience, that's, you just go deeper and deeper and deeper. You are in love with the water. And that is what I was saying, falling in love with the being that I am. So that I go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, no matter what the external situation may arise. I use every situation on this planet to go within. And then action arises from that dive within. So stay with your blocks. Do not follow their dictates, I would say. You can allow them to be. You can allow the block to be. But the block should not be able to make you do things which are, you know, that they are not right for you. They pull you down and down and down. So let the block be. When we say allow the block be, that you know that the block is there, and yet I am doing what is right for me. Staying with the block does not mean that whatever the block is asking me to do, I will do. The block is saying, do not attend the sessions. Lo ji. The block is saying, do not submit the assignments. Lo ji, kar diya. Aur batao. No, not like that. We don't have to fall a prey to the block. We have to allow the block. अच्छा आया है, चल बैठ थोड़ी देर चाय पी ले, जो भी है, मुझे तो जो करना है वो मुझे करना ही है. Like that. So one has to be really stubborn there. And all these assignments, as I was sharing, they have been created through our own sufferings and intensity. These are assignments to be done when you are suffering. So it's one of its own kind, usually. So we don't have to stop doing assignments when I am suffering, because the course is called Pain and Suffering. So what we'd be doing? We are suffering, and that's why we are doing assignments, because we are suffering. So these assignments are especially for those of us, and these have been coming out of our own learnings, our own experiences, going through sufferings and asking ourselves such questions, going to the root of it and using it as a tool to have this deeper dive. Otherwise, later on, if you are, in a happy, merry-go-lucky state, you will actually not be able to do these assignments. It's not a possibility, because these are very rich, intense, suffering-based worksheets. So whenever you have a block, let the block be, but also do the assignment. I'm not going to give you any marks, so I'm not obviously saying this because of any marks or anything. I'm saying that this has the potency to turn the suffering into something really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Anything anyone wants to share?
Yeah, Monica, I want to share my experience.
Yeah.
What Yasho was saying and Jas was saying, it sounds like really familiar. And for me, I used to probably get these blogs, say, every 15 days. Like I was at that time very heavily into Acharya Prashant's videos and stuff, like day and night, like nothing else. And then after 15 days, I'll be like, I would want to vomit, kind of. Like it was like my body is physically resisting that discourse or that session and stuff, and I would want to just move away. And I would feel so like kind of horrible inside कि बस इतना ही इतना सुना इतना करा, like that judging, that resisting, that thing. And like 15 days, 1 month, and it used to take 3-4 days to go, because I was kind of fighting with it, कि अरे I thought you were better than this kinds na. And then I kind of saw a pattern. Like I don't know. For me, I felt as if how there are some people who rule you, right? And then you want other people to come and rule you because you think they are better for you. But the old people would protest, right? कि अरे ये तो मेरा whatever, this was my kingdom. So I felt that there was something in me that did not want me in that direction, and it, like, periodically it would rise and protest. So as soon as I saw the pattern, instead of resisting or judging me, because I realized it wasn't about myself, it was just some forces or something, acting out. So if say a kid is acting out, if I start fighting with him, he would act out more, right? So after, so then what happened was कि as soon as I would see it initially, I would say कि हाँ, what do you want? He would say I want to go to the mall. I would go to the mall. He would say I want to go for a movie. I would go for a movie, and it would go in the same day. Like I won't realize कि कभी से दोपहर में block start हुआ. Evening में I won't even know when it went. And now I don't know when was the last block. When Rasho and Jazz mentioned, I realized, oh my God, And it's like what all you said, like the invincible thing, I really loved. But what you said, about, of course, like about loving ourselves, and like if you believe the story that that block is trying to tell you, it's very hard simultaneously to actually be in love with yourself. So that invisibility that you said, invincibility, sorry, is like really important, that it's not me, like how it's like we take everything on ourselves, right? Like, and we have multiple personalities. So there is a part of me which is still on the path, there is a part of me which is true and which wants truth, but there is also a part of me which had been on the other side, and it's kind of resisting, and I can just let it be, and it will slowly, the more kind of I move, it would slowly just feel more comfortable there. So I think that judgment, the self criticism, judgment, the, okay, what kind of a, I don't know, it's like it wants to create that negative thing. So I feel there's something inside you which doesn't want you to, kind of go there. So it keeps pulling you. And the moment you see the pattern clearly for oneself, and one more thing, like, Acharya Prashant's that video, Harenge Hum Bar Bar, but Koi Har Aakhri. Now, I don't know if you remember that one. That was one of my favorite. So, in case you feel it's all right, we can share that on the group. I mean, it's very kind of motivating in a very different way, right? Like, the losses are so much a part of us and in us. Like you said, lifetimes, like more than lifetimes, not this inconscient, like stone and tree and stuff. So I just felt it. Yeah, I guess that's about
Thank you, Tarut. Actually, you articulated it so well. I think I couldn't put it into words, and now it makes sense for what Monica shared and you shared. You actually kind of nailed it. That's exactly what I have been kind of feeling, you know. Okay, I just, and that block, I mean, you said it all. I mean, that's exactly what's been happening with me. That's where I am. And you're right, that block, kind of that story. Sorry, I'm just kind of, it's actually sinking in so well. Yeah, and I think that's very important point you brought up was the losses, and like how Monica said, it's lifetimes of this thing, and you go with that spirit, you have to keep going. And it does, and I still go back to that example. Like, it's beautiful when you see it, that there's so much changing in subtle ways. And I used to feel physically very drained with that. And I realized our body kind of, it's almost like cleansing or detoxifying at the same time, physically. But now I feel, I used to feel so tired by afternoon, but now it doesn't feel the same. I'm able to, it's just like that you bring in this new spirit and understanding into that experience, because you're not the same, and it shifts you slowly physically. And what you said, that's true, that resistance comes up, just ulti, literally, like, because I now, it made sense why I felt that sickness, because it's your inner, critique that's coming up and judging you at the same time. And it is like we have so much going on inside at multiple times. But then I remember that space, as much as I, in that moment, I held space, I felt I could breathe. It's almost like you felt stuck. And I know it's a probably not the best line to use, but obviously I'm much bigger than whatever is coming up, and that really helps me. Thank you for sharing that. That was really helpful, Tarun.
Yeah, please, anyone, if you have anything at any point of time to share. Bhaskar, Rinku, Preeti.
I think I shared a little bit last time. It was like too much of a mental stimulation, maybe, which then led to a lot of emotional stimulation, and then it came out as some physical, like what basically everybody's trying to explain. Somebody felt like ulti, or somebody felt like too tired and rained out. I got these severe headaches, and as, and it's funny when I see that how I broke my specs. I've worn specs as a kid, and I've never broken a pair of specs ever. This spec had to. It was like, some cleansing was happening. Clearly, dekho thoda sa kuch. Just on a light side, I like to laugh at it like that. But yeah, it was like physical resistance, and like the same feeling. So I just paused, and then I like last week I said I just want to stop right now, and not think much about it, because mentally getting too draining, feeling too tired and all. But yeah, abhi thoda acha lag raha hai. So now maybe I'll, like you said, another week or two we can. So my 3 assignments are due. I will sit down one at a time, and definitely it's just a beginning, and it is feeling good. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. As Taru was sharing this, as if there is almost something like a being, which is actually not a being, something like a being in us, which Mother calls the inconscience, has to now turn towards consciousness. It has to be shed light upon. And that is what resists, as when we go on this path, as Taru shared beautifully, that the whole patterns, as if they have almost become an entity in their own right, and now they are saying, how can you do this to me, how can you do this to me, almost like that. Although they have nothing to themselves, it's almost like a mirage. Once we just go ahead on this path, we see that the power that they seemed to have actually was being fueled only by our own energy. It was my blood that was nurturing them, and now I'm not willing to nurture them anymore, right? Just because I see that there is nothing for me there, when I'm ready to uh, kind of move past them. Agar abhi bhi kahin na kahin hame lagta hai that they are there for giving me something, then they will stay for much longer time, right? And it's okay to have that resistance, or whatever, in whatever form. In different persons it may come like a different, some, for some it may be headache, or for some it may be a feeling of kind of vomiting out or anything. And you can say to yourself, okay, bring it on, bring it on. It's just a physical sensation, you can go through it. Headache kitna time lagta hai? 1 दिन 2 दिन 3 दिन ले ले, bring it on. उल्टी की फीलिंग कितनी देर लगती है? Go through it, go be with that physical raw sensation of ulti ki feeling, or the other stuff that we may go through, but rather than being in the story of what needs to be attended, what not. Once you have chosen the path, there is almost no turning back. Kabir says, sir sahib ko saupte socha na kije soor. So one would not even have a second thought once one has given oneself to the path of truth. And yes, as Jasmine was sharing, that yes, I'm bigger than all that, than all the resistances that may crop up in the being from time to time. So yes, I can go through all these resistances. Yeah. Yes. So Bhaskar and Rinku, if there is anything you have that you would like to share.
Yeah, one thing, in fact, so yesterday I played cricket after a long time, and I think I've so right now I'm sitting with a lot of lower back pain, And I think, but I'm smiling as I'm saying this. That's the, I think, difference. And so yesterday, I think while I was taking a run or something, I pulled it really badly. I really don't know what happened exactly. But there is not even a single ounce of fuss that is going about. And yeah, that's why I said, I'm talking about it as a matter of fact, as opposed to, something like a catastrophe or something. And it's quite interesting. I'm sitting with a hot water bag on my back and all that, but yeah, right now it doesn't feel like a story as much as a simple fact that I need to attend to. Yes, of course. So the doctor's appointment is in place, all that. But yet it is what it is.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I just come to think of it, even I didn't really injure my back, but I had a bad muscle spasm in my lower back too during the course. So now when I look back and I see, since I practice yoga asanas every day and I'm like pretty okay that way, I can't think of any reason why that happened. I think it's only something emotional that kind of cracked it. So that was, now that Bhaskar just mentioned, I see that even I had it. So it's interesting. Yeah, just wanted to share that.
Yeah, great. I think it's so simple. Sometimes it appears so simple, right? And when we are drenched in our stories, it just as if we can't see anything. Just a second. Just a second. Yeah, sorry. So I was saying that what you just shared, Bhaskar and Preeti, it was just referring to this isness of the moment. Yes, my back is injured in this moment. And the moment we see that, yes, there is no resistance to that happening, it's so simple. It appears so simple that, yes, I can go through it. Let's go through it, right? But at times when it is really, kind of, we are drenched wet in our stories, then it becomes a misery, as if this isness appears like a far-fetched goal, right? How can I be fine if the situation does not change, the external situation does not change? And this is so beautiful that you shared it. It may appear very simple, but the simplicity, the isness of life, that yes, whatever is there, let's go through it. This is such so beautiful and so simple and so very obvious also, that we just miss it, for some far-fetched goal that is going to happen on this journey, right? And what if it's just this isness that we need to more and more see in life, that yes, things are like that. Now what is the best that can be done? Because then any action, any word, anything will be coming out of a place of quietness, a quietude, that yes, things happened in external situation, even body is an external thing, if I can say. Um, and yes, it does not matter, we'll go through it, right? So it's this simplicity and also this beauty about this isness of life. And whenever we will see there is more of suffering in life, जो भी हो रहा होगा वहां पे मेरा कुछ चल रहा है, that I see that no, this is not happening by me, this is not happening my way, this is not happening my way. Only then suffering can arise. Even when I'm going through a loss, even when I'm going through a hard uh, challenge in a relationship, if I actually in any moment say yes, okay, I allow it to be as it is, you will see that virtually all of the suffering will cease, and the right action that is needed to be done in that situation will arise from within. So that's really beautiful. Thank you, both of you, for sharing. Yeah.
Actually, after the third week, one thing or the other kept happening. It's just an observation I'm sharing. Now that I'm thinking, of course, I think when I'll sit with the worksheet, I will write as well. So this started after the third week, and something or the other like that kept happening. And I actually made a statement: I'm getting sick. I'm sick all the time. It took me to a point I felt like, am I in depression? So anyway, now that I'm laughing at it, but the good thing that for the back thing that came out was I developed a small package of kind of self-healing for the back. So, and they used to all laugh. My family was kind of, you do yoga every day. How is your back? Like, what happened? And I said, anything can happen to anybody, It's not that doctors are not going to die or not going to get sick. They are also going to get sick, or, like, so it's nice. I mean, it's nice to know when I think back and think on what people have these beliefs.
Beautiful. Yes. So one of the things that Rinku, whenever you are ready, just share. Would you like to share right now?
Uh, I think the last thing that you mentioned, for me, these 8 weeks have continuously condensed to that part that even before, it has always been how to make it simple, how to make it applicable. Because being in an quite a live wire situation, for me, philosophy is itni काम नहीं करती बड़े फंडे या it won't work because I have to act and I have to be quick.
Yeah.
So before the disease or whatever you want to call that encroaches the whole surrounding, I have to, so being, and I agree with you, 99 nahi, but 100% of the time the step is very simple. I think मैंने शायद किसी को सुना है ये बोलते हुए, Dr. Vanna or someone, she always mentions with her self healing class, the biggest hurdle is stop yourself from letting the being do what it has to do. So yeah, and that has helped. That has amazingly helped. And this 8 weeks with you has been nothing more but almost everything about this. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So Taru, are you there? Yeah. So I just wanted to take this opportunity. So although on the poster of the course or the description, the name is mine, but I just wanted to be grateful and also to share with you all that Taru has been involved in also designing, editing the assignments, the drafts, and going over, things again and again. We did it all together. And many things which I can't even express in words how she has been like really, if I can say, just like a space holds all the things in it. She has been there throughout this process of designing the worksheets and designing the raw material, the assignments, also working with me, and also the reflections that you would be filling up. So we will be sharing a sheet of reflection, self-reflection with you, self-assessment. That also has been designed by her. So just wanted to thank you, Taru, for being there, and for also, maybe most of the sessions you were not able to attend, but I think most of the people here know you already. So yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to do. Thanks for being there.
I think Abhi we talked about no drama and stuff, and I'm so surprised to hear this. So
No,
yeah,
this is not
personally.
a drama. This is just a token of thankfulness that I wanted to do so. So that was one. And then, so I'll be giving you all an assignment, like a, not an assignment, it's a evaluation form. self-evaluation that you will be filling towards the end of this course. Also, another thing that I wanted to share was that there is a possibility of getting e-certificate after you finish this course. So those of us who are interested in that e-certificate, they can just tell me later on the group or whatever, and then I can make it happen. I ask the office Sacar to make it, and then, but that would be after your assignments are done with, not before that. So who does not complete the assignments does not get this e-certificate. Okay, that is one. Yeah, so we're almost ready to begin with the third batch now of the course, Pain and Suffering. It will be beginning on March 1. So the date has been changed. Earlier it was February 17th. Now it will be March 1. So if you feel that there are any people who could resonate with such kind of a thing, just spread a word. I'll share the poster with all of you. And yeah. Then last thing that I wanted to share was that you're all welcome to join this, the sessions that we have been doing every week. Something or the other has been happening. So at Living Light, we have, one day with Kabir at 4 p.m. Then one day with prayers and meditations by the Mother. One day we have Harmony Circle where we share, like we discuss it out, any theme that we pick out for that day. Very intense topic that really matter to our lives. All of them are touched. Taru is mostly in charge of Harmony Circles. Then on Sunday, we have these open sessions uh, at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. at night, where, sometimes we just share whatever we are going through, right? Meeting life as it is, not manipulating it. And I think, yeah, on Fridays, we have a study circle also, Sri Aurobindo and Mother. Anything that you have read, you want to share it out in a group. So anyone who is not yet in those groups and would like to be in touch is most welcome to stay connected. And if not, that is also completely fine. But I just wanted to put it forward because one needs, certain immersion of certain kind to be on the path. So if you have already have any immersion, just go with it. If you are looking for immersions, and we are doing this anyway, so I thought I'll just share it with you. So that these are the last few things that I wanted to share. And regarding the completion of assignments, I think 1 week should be enough, otherwise it stretches too long. So I can give you 1 week of an extension, all of you. But इफ यू कैन ठीक ठीक लगा लो टाइप्स में, आप अगर कर सकते हो तो एक हफ्ते में कर लो तो अच्छा है, बिकॉज इट्स गुड टू हैव दिस फ्लो. अदरवाइज व्हेन इट ब्रेक्स, इट्स द मजा, काइंड ऑफ गेट ऑफ, सफरिंग का मजा खत्म हो जाता है. सो if you are suffering right now, just get done with the assignments, work on yourself, and take 1 week, uh, and then whoever wants the certificate, we can provide the certificate. Yeah, is there anything else? Taru, you have anything to share? Or if I missed out on anything?
I don't think so, but I would want to say that, what you were just saying, that kind of if one wants to actually maintain something that one has received, it's really important to kind of stay in touch. Like you said, any way, like kind of they say such sangat, like सुनने में बहुत बोरिंग सा वर्ड लगता है, बट एक कंपनी, like something or someone who can remind you कि hey, where are you looking, look there kind of a thing. मतलब इसके जितना इसके बारे में आई थिंक बोल सको वो कम है. I think even in, I don't know, I've heard it so often, like, somebody says, ask someone that what is most important, कि यही पढ़ूं कि वो करूं कि क्या करूं, and they're like company. Like just see, because they say you are the words you speak, the kind of a thing कि जो भी आप कर रहे हो वही आप बन जाते हो kind. So again, yeah, can't stress on that enough. That's it.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So I think that's it from my side. I did not want to go over the document. Yeah, Yashu, you want to share?
Yes, this is slightly inappropriate because I've not completed my assignment. But would you have something of this sort? Another course which involves a lot of self-reflection, because I think that really helps. Rather, I mean, of course, listening to somebody else's perspective, but also finding your own perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there is something, if you're planning something, do keep us
Yes, so
in
at
the loop.
the moment, prayers and meditations you are already aware of, that is going on. And another batch of pain and suffering would start. But if there is any other thing that we begin with, I think you are already added on the groups. So we'll keep you in that loop. Yeah. And do spread a word. If I'm sure this course is not for everyone, right? So whoever you feel has and this course would benefit more those people who have an active suffering in life. Otherwise, who just wants to understand pain and suffering, I don't think our worksheets are going to help that one, right? So anyone who wants to use the pain and suffering in life in order to reach a deeper depth in life, to have a more depth in life. So if you have any people in your circles, just spread a word around. If you are connected to people in communities or anything, yeah, that's it. I'll share the poster on the group. Yeah. And I think those of us, some of us have already paid the full fee. Those of us who haven't paid, if it is possible now for you, they can just go ahead and make the rest of the payment also. And that is for Sacar. It's important for them also, right? Yeah. So I'm done from my side. I'll just, if there is anything you can share, otherwise we'll just call off the session then.
Monica, just wanted to thank you. Your, you know, your words have been a lot of help. Yes, one does fall into the ditch a bit too often. But yeah, at least there is light, and you can grab onto something and try to pull yourself out. Thank you.
No, you said that we still fall into the ditch. The beauty is that now we can see it as the ditch. That is the beauty, that we can all see when we are in the ditch. That seeing is our instrument, that seeing is our tool, and that seeing, power of seeing, is our invincibility that we were talking of earlier. And we all have that. No one on this earth does not have that. So, and thank you for all of you, so for being so porous. Otherwise words are just words. They cannot do anything if there is no receptivity. So thank you too for being so open and receptive. Otherwise we could not have done anything. Yeah, Preeti, you wanted to share something?
No, I just wanted to thank, and I totally agree with Taru on when she was talking about satsang. This platform, I mean, the other platform that you're talking about, Living Light, has been like that for me at a time when I really needed to listen and just talk it out.
Yeah.
So thank you for being there. Yeah.
Great. Okay, then jump off the cliff. Yeah, I think we are done then. So I'll just take one more.
गाना गा के खत्म करूं? मैं चली.
Good one.
Okay. Bye. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thanks.
Take just 1
Thank
week
you.
more and get done with
Yeah. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Got it.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Bye-bye.